Former President Bill Clinton. We got a over 6 hour testimony. A lot of the clips I'm seeing on this is like 4 hours. So I've seen, I think, the majority of the footage broken up into pieces. This lawyer, very interestingly enough, the woman pictured to the right of every one of the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, this brown woman, you see her in the corner of all of these videos. I'm going to reveal something very interesting about her. She is actually mentioned in the Epstein files. Interestingly enough, we'll read her file that she actually is mentioned in. But in the meantime, here is Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton. We're going to start this off with a clip on what he would like to say to survivors directly.
And in particular, I want to focus on 3 survivors who have shared stories that involve you. So I want to begin with Maria Farmer. Do you know who Maria Farmer is? Maria Farmer was employed by Jeffrey Epstein and abused by him for a number of years. And she first reported her abuse to the New York PD and FBI in 1996. And she states that she has personal knowledge that you visited Jeffrey Epstein's house 3 to 4 times while you were the sitting president between 1995 and 1996. And she says she knows this based on photographs that Ghislaine Maxwell showed to her, as well as discussions with the staff. So let me ask you, Mr. President, did you visit Jeffrey Epstein's house while you were president?
I do not remember doing that. I do not believe I did.
I do not believe.
How do you explain this discrepancy?
Objection calls for him to speculate.
I can't speculate. But all I can tell you is I don't remember being there.
Okay. Moving on to Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Are you familiar with her?
Mm-hmm.
As has already been established, she has stated in numerous sworn statements, including a sworn deposition in the Maxwell trial, that she saw you on the island with Jeffrey Epstein. And in fact, this morning, her family shared her diary with me. And in it is a quote wherein she writes, quote, Bill Clinton met 2 times island with 2 girls, C.T., G.M., and J.E. What is your reaction to that?
It's not true.
It's not true. It's just not true.
Dates associated with that? Were there dates on the diary?
I don't have that information, but we'll be happy to share it with you.
Well, terrific, because I think there are also records that would reflect where else he would have been. So thanks.
Did she say that in her book?
This is from her personal diary that her family shared with us.
Yes, but the book came out more recently. Did she say that in the book?
I'm just reading you the entry from her diary that her family shared with me.
He really wants to know. He's like, did she write that? Did she? I'm going to be really honest with you guys. This testimony doesn't have nearly as much aura, fighting spirit as Hillary's. He's, like I said in the last episode, he has the spirit of someone 20 years her senior. You know, she's still fighty, bitey, you know, old lady. She's like, I'll point at you, I'll smack on the table and all that shit. But he is, you know, much more, he's sitting within himself. He looks like a skeleton just kind of holding its arms together. It's creepy. It's decrepit. I don't like it. Anyways, Cheryl Mills is interrupting on his behalf.
I think she ultimately...
Their lawyer.
I have no contact with her.
I finally figured out her name, Cheryl Mills, the black lady that I've been like, this brown girl, this lawyer that's really good at fighting for them. Cheryl Mills, she's in the files. We'll mention this later.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that it's on the record that is Virginia Giuffre's statement. Did you ever fly in a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell?
Maxine.
Ever, anywhere?
Ever, anywhere?
Okay. Well, at least one of the survivors claims that you flew in a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell to the island.
Did you ever?
No, I did not do that. I've never been to that island.
Okay. I did never. Apparently. He did never, guys. He did never. Here we got another moment about the infamous hot tub photo. Listen, guys, I hate to be the one that reveals it. It was me. It was me that they redacted in the hot tub with Bill Clinton. I wanted some early opportunities. Admittedly, I think this photo was taken in 2005, making me approximately 2 years old. It fits. It fits with the narrative. So we're gonna go ahead and say that. We're gonna go ahead and say it.
Thank you for your service. We have, as you know, in the files that were released, there were several photos, included you, and we have an exhibit here. That's just one of the photos. And,
We pulled this from Ollie Votlarson's Instagram.
And we'll have that passed around. And what we're trying to get at is some context for the public on whether you remember this photo and any detail you may be able to provide us about it. So do you recall the details of this photo or recall the photo being taken?
No, I don't think I ever knew the photo was taken.
Okay, and for those who can't see it, it's a photo of you in a hot tub. There's a person next to you here. Do you remember where it was taken? Where was it taken?
I'm almost sure that this taken, I think there's an adjacent photograph that you probably have. If people saw it, they would feel that someone was trying to con them showing this picture.
Can anybody else not understand a single word that he is mumbling? He's muffling. I can't. It's not even mumbling or muffling. I can't even say what it is.
But anyway,
But
picture was taken in Brunei,
Brunei.
and we flew one night on the trip to Asia.
Whew, looks like a
Last
dump.
very long leg.
I just looked up pictures.
Who is that including?
Well, my tow team that was working
Thank you.
on the AIDS issue, and
Yeah, I just looked up pictures. It looks like a dump. What would he want to do here?
Mr. Epstein
Have sex with children.
was there, and Miss Maxwell. But anyway, we got to the end of the flight was Brunei. It's a tiny place, but a very wealthy one, and the Sultan of Brunei was a man that
I was actually there to study the culture, the rich culture of Brunei. It's beautiful brown beaches. It's beautiful garbage mountains, as we've actually, they're as tall as the Himalayas.
I had gotten to know well in my 8 years as president. And his first involvement with international matters was basically to join the Asian Pacific Economic Leaders Conference, which I started and which he attended. And then he was very proud of that, and he hosted, his time came to host it. You do these things in rotation. And it came either at the very end of my term or maybe the next year. Anyway, he wanted, when he knew I was coming, he said he wanted to help me with my AIDS initiative, and he invited me to stay there. And he said, I want you to stay at this hotel, and I hope you'll use the pool. So I did, and then I got out and went to bed, exhausted.
He went to bed exhausted after using the pool, because who's exhausted after using a pool, excuse you? Pools demand so little of you physically, mentally, all of it. I've always been elated by the fact that there are people who die in pools, like they fall asleep in the pool. To me, that's always been as dumb as somebody who like falls asleep smoking. You always heard that like I was of a generation where nobody had died of it in a few years. I think that was a big thing in like 60s, 70s. Like, yeah, someone fell asleep with a fucking cigarette and then their apartment it burned and they were the only person who died. And then you saw, if you were younger, or even older, you remember that guy from Beetlejuice who's like, want a cigarette? That was like just an old wives' tale by the time that I was a kid. My point still remains that it's like one of those things where you're like, people fall asleep when they're in a pool? Sounds ridiculous to me, but people do.
Just for the record, there's another picture that also shows this as part of the larger pool area. Do you all have that so that he can refresh his recollection with respect to that?
We should have it. It's quite enlightening. If you watch this...
Yes, it's noted. Yes.
She's like, by the way, she does this weird like lip pursing in movement that makes her look like she doesn't have any teeth. And listen, not to say that her partner on Bill's left, this Shadow of Innsmouth looking fella, the fish person with this, quiffed hair, not queefed, this quiffed hair, his like obvious lines running down his face. He looks like a carp left out at market. He looks decrepit, but she looks like a Skyrim NPC. She looks like a witch that is arising from a tomb in like a cave in a mountain somewhere. She looks like she's gonna have 50 gold coin and like some glowing, like big axe or something like that. When you kill her and she goes limp, you know what I mean? Because they never die and it never looks that cool, except for, they do the slow motion kill where like you'll grab the person and then you'll slam them into your knee and then like whatever, and then it'll fall down, and then they still look silly. It doesn't look cool at all. But she'll have like one of these like cool like spells, maybe a book or something. I don't know. I don't play Skyrim very much, but that's what she looks like. She looks like this mummified witch, which is just, I love her. We'll mention more about her soon.
We don't have it with us right now.
Okay,
We do.
thanks. I just wanted to make sure.
She like, okay, and she like does this side, we got you. Like she looks like someone who's watched too much Glee, someone who's had like too much attitude. I bust the windows out your car. I don't like those people.
So were there other people in that pool or hot tub with you as well?
I don't think there's anybody in the hot tub.
Well, you didn't have the other photo, so how is he supposed to remember if there were any other people?
I didn't feel
Bitch.
there was anybody in the hot tub, but it was big, but it was about.
Well,
He's asking in the pool
it
area.
appears this photo, there's a girl over here, or there's someone.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who
He's
that
also
is.
asking in the pool area whether other individuals.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so you don't know.
She is like, guys, we have to make this so obvious and so clear to him because he's barely hanging on. You have to understand, he might be however many years old, might be in his 80s or something, but we are dealing with a mental 110-year-old. He has lived more lives of more sex and more young 22-year-olds and even younger. We're not going to talk about just Monica Lewinsky. Let's just move on. He has lived more lives. He's had more adrenochrome than you will ever have in your short, brief existence on this planet. He has lived 600 years. He has been president of the United States. So if anything, we need to be giving him visual aids. We need to be, actually, if you guys could just put all of these questions in a Cocomelon style children's show that he can do a call and response to, maybe a Dora type special where a person like does a thing and is like, Bill, tell us if you did this, and then he does a call or response, and then you do like a yay, and then that's how we're gonna do this. That you have to get juvenile, you have to get really like infantile with these references, because people really start to go, they really start to leave their minds at past, like, I'm not gonna say how old he is. I think he's like, how old is Bill Clinton? Let's actually confirm. Bill, I don't want to be rude and get his age wrong. He's 79 years old. Oh, he does not give that. Listen, yeah, he looks old, like really, really, like 90 something. It's concerning. Anyways, we're gonna cover this brief clip from a gentleman who I will leave in the description. Who's going to break down a brief instance from the Hillary Clinton deposition, and then they are going to break down a brief summation of something that we know about their beautiful brown lawyer that I keep mentioning. She's just beautiful and brown. I can't help it but mention her. She's just beautiful.
Clinton was being asked about Frazzle Drip. That video came from a life insurance folder from Anthony Weiner's laptop. That video was said to make even the most hardened NYC police veterans cry. It's said to show Weiner's wife, Huma, and Hillary Clinton performing satanic ritual abuse on a young girl, surgically removing her face and wearing it as a mask
Cool.
to flood the victim's bloodstream with adrenaline.
Damn.
On a serious note, of the 12 officers who viewed the contents of the file labeled insurance on the laptop, 9 of them committed suicide.
That is weird, isn't it? Isn't that just bizarre? Can we not admit that is admittedly just bizarre?
Let's play the video of her being asked about Frazzle Drip.
The files that were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled insurance, life insurance, with a zip file titled Frazzle.
This is way outside the
Chairman's
scope.
ruling.
This is way
not in the
outside.
scope?
This is way outside the scope.
The chairman rules that it's not within the scope. I
Mr.
have
Chairman,
other-
based on what you said in the public hearing, is this within the scope?
He goes, this is way outside the scope. It has a lot to do with child abuse, actually. The description of this video is you wearing this little girl's face. So I think this is perfectly within scope. And the level of uncomfortability she displays around this, I'm sorry, it's just an innocent woman doesn't look this weirded out when she's being accused of something supposedly so ridiculous that she can't even imagine you would bring it up.
Mr. Chairman, is this within the scope?
Yes.
Now, the lady you see next to Hillary, her attorney, Cheryl Mills, she is in the files.
Yes, she
And
is.
she's close friends with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yep.
This is Cheryl Mills to Ghislaine Maxwell. Gee, is today really your birthday? It's the birthday of one of my greatest friends, and it would not at all be surprising that you shared it. So happy birthday, darling. I'll have to do a bit of thinking. Hate you for being in Palm Beach. If it weren't for your birthday, I'll call you what you really are for being there. XO.
There you go. What a weird friendship. You wouldn't expect her being so close to the Clintons to like have any ties to Ghislaine or Epstein, right? The Clintons are clean figures. They're not any types that would get involved in anything that might suggest any wrongdoing. Speaking of wrongdoing, actually, maybe not wrongdoing because I am interested in buying this home. The Zorro Ranch inside Jeffrey Epstein's potential birth mansion. We have new photos that reveal what the inside looked like. I will put these in the description if you'd like to take a look. I'll do my best to describe some. Here we go.
Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch in our state through some new photos. Epstein and his estate owned the Santa Fe County property until 2023.
A beautiful purple main home, it looks like, and then it transitions to this amazing rustic Lincoln-style cabin. This is beautiful with this. Oh my goodness, this brown brick, very, very Celtic. Like the bricks are all different sizes. It's not Germanic. It's not uniform. It is not industrial. It is handcrafted. It is artesian. It's Celtic. It is a beautiful. Oh my goodness! And then the way that these shingles have been laid. I gotta say it, guys. I'm in love with this house.
That's when former Texas State Senator Donald Huffines bought it. Now
This gorgeous Spanish-Mexican revival interior. You guys, if you are fans of the, Spanish-Mex, that mix of, you like palatial estates, you like bronze, copper, you like all of the proper out-of-the-ground materials, you will love this kitchen.
photos of the property are from an insurance company, and they were taken when Epstein...
My favorite room, the study. You have these lovely, these gallant, absolutely just like gaudy bookshelves that are in the wall, inside of the wall. They're not like these shake them up, you know what I mean? You could take them, you could like move them around bookshelves. These are embedded in the wall. These are beautiful. They're in that ghoulish, spooky painting that sits behind this grand, massive, looks like a horse trader's desk. You know what I mean? Like, you look like you sell and breed horses behind this desk. It is a beautiful, beautiful study.
Epstein was still alive. And you can see just how big the property is. Multiple offices, cabins, barns,
Wow.
buildings. I mean, look at the large...
And then this interior, very 2000s, very early 90s. Actually, yeah, I'm going to call this early to late 90s. Let's just call it the 90s. It's got this pink background of like very reminiscent of the late cocaine 80s. But then this beautiful blue, pool that is just, it fills up the entire room. It's gorgeous. I think this is
inside.
grand.
Then you have a great room right there with that huge chandelier.
Oh my goodness. It looks like a French painting up here. It's
At the time,
beautiful.
there was also a fire truck, tanker, and trailer on the property, as well as a firehouse and storage facility.
He was a man of history.
Meanwhile, there is a growing memorial on the property's outskirts paying tribute to Epstein's victims and survivors.
I can't imagine what they had to endure. I wanted everybody to know that New Mexico was strong and that we would represent these victims, living victims.
I mean, we wouldn't do anything when we were hearing screams in the middle of the night. Then we feel really torn up about the fact that, you know, we didn't do very much when we kept seeing girls disappear from, like, oh, what happened to Susie last night? Oh, she went out drinking, and then after she went out at the Panaswacky bar with a couple of her girls, she wasn't seen for the rest of the night. And then people go like, all right. And then I heard screams down at Zorro Ranch the other night. Well, you know, people be yelling. That's what the excuse was. People be yelling.
Survivors.
Organizers say they hope the memorial will serve as a wake-up call. No charges, though, were ever filed against Epstein here in New Mexico. However, state leaders just established a truth commission to further investigate what happened at that property.
Well, because it's only alleged what he's done, ladies and gentlemen. It's only alleged. You know what I mean? We cannot prove distinctly that he's done anything malicious. Apparently so. This is exactly why we haven't arrested anybody. Because even though they are having a lot of arrests, you know, arrests that aren't admittedly not leading to anything, like Mountbatten, you know what I mean, over in the UK. The Norway, they're arresting a few people. In Europe, they're having a couple arrests, but they're not going to lead to any genuine prosecutions. But at the very least, we don't have the decency to even put on the show of an arrest in the United States at this point anymore. But whatever. That's very fun. Very, very fun. Doesn't really matter at this point. I think we need to move on, quite frankly. I've had